Hey guys! So today I'm going to be updating you because I have not been sticking to my TBR at all for the month of January. So I wanted to just give you like an update on like the books I plan on reading throughout the season of winter because I haven't been sticking to my TBR and I've discovered that I'm more of a mood reader, especially since all these new books are coming out. And yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna film wrap-ups for sure. I'm just gonna share with you like the books that I plan on reading throughout the next few months. So let's just jump right into it. So the first book that I plan on reading, it's actually a magazine, but whatever. And it's the Time Alexander Hamilton special. It's like a special edition thing, and it just has like a bunch of articles about Alexander Hamilton and then the musical and everything. And if you don't know, I'm like super obsessed with the musical, so I saw this and I was like, well, duh. So I plan on reading this like really soon. It's not that long, but it just has like a bunch of articles and stuff. So yeah, plan on reading this really soon. And this is like also in the order that I plan on reading them, by the way. So the book that I'm currently reading right now is Vicious by V.E. Schwab, and I'm borrowing this book from the library. I have a few books in here that I'm borrowing from the library, but I'm borrowing this one from the library, and I am halfway through, really close to being halfway through, and I'm absolutely loving it. And so you'll definitely see it in my January wrap-up. The next book that I plan on reading, and I'm reading this one before like some of the other ones that I borrowed from the library because I have to read this one for a school project, and I've like just been really anticipating reading it since I got it, and that is Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. I haven't started this yet. I'm gonna start this in a few days because my project's due in like 2 weeks, and it's a pretty big book. I mean, it's like 500 pages, not that long, but it's bigger than average, I would say. I'm really excited to read this book. It's all about like time travel, and I think there's a little bit of romance in there, and I love that. So I'm really excited to pick this one up in the next few days, and you'll see it in my wrap-up. So the next book that I plan on reading is actually a graphic novel, and this is going to be the second graphic novel that I've ever read, and I borrowed this one from the library, and that is In Real Life by Cory Doctorow. And I heard about this one from Jesse the Reader. He recommended this in like his favorite graphic novels or whatever. And the art style looks really cool. Like, I really like the colors that it uses. And I just went to the library and went through like the list of graphic novels that I want to read, and this was like one of the only ones that they actually had. So yeah, I plan on reading this soon, and I'm really excited about it. The next book that I borrowed from the library is Soundless by Rochelle Mead, and I've never read one of her books before, and there's so much hype surrounding this book right now. When I saw it at the library, I was like, I'm gonna borrow it from the library because I've heard a bunch of like mixed things about it, and I didn't want to buy it just in case I didn't like it. It's also like one of my New Year's resolutions to borrow books from the library and read them and then buy them, just to make sure that I actually like them. I mean, not that I've bought in a book that I haven't liked yet, but like, you know, just in case. So I just wanted to borrow this one, and I plan on starting it very soon because obviously it's due at the library. So I'm really excited to start reading this because I've heard really mixed things about it, and I'm excited to see what I think about it. So this book I'm super excited to start reading because I read such great things about it, and that is An Ember in the Ashes. Yeah, An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. And I've only heard really good things about this book, but I wanted to read it first from the library because, like I said, I just part of my New Year's resolution, you know? And if I really like it, I'm definitely going to go out and buy it. And I wanted to read this soon because the sequel's coming out, and I've just heard great things about it, and, you know, trying to save money, so libraries are good. This next book I'm currently reading, but I'm kind of like taking a break from it because I think I've had too much of this series like in such a short amount of time, and that is Cress by Marissa Meyer. This is the third book in the, I just put two. This is the third book in the Lunar Chronicle series, and I've heard this is the best one in the series, but I finished Scarlet like at the end of last month, beginning of this month, so like I read that and I like went almost right into that after I finished Cinder, and like, you know, I just kind of like need to take a break because I feel like her books are almost getting predictable because I've just been reading them like back to back. I mean, I definitely have been liking what I've been reading so far. I think I'm like 100, yeah, I'm like almost 100 pages in. but I just wanted to take a break and like read some other books before I got back into this one because I'm not really in the mood to read it right now. The next book that I'm super excited about reading is The Museum of Extraordinary Things by Alice Hoffman. And this book I got for Christmas, and it just sounds super interesting. I heard it's a lot like The Night Circus, but better. Like, people who like were about The Night Circus like loved this book. It's like had all the things that The Night Circus didn't have. And also the end pages in this book, like, hello, that's gorgeous. So yeah, I plan on reading this one throughout the next few months, and I'm really excited about it. I mean, I haven't read The Night Circus, like I have it, but I haven't read it, and I've tried to read it a few times, but I just like couldn't get into it, so hopefully this one will catch me. The next book that I plan on reading, again, I'm super excited about. I bought this book randomly one day because I saw that it was the one with the black pages, and I was like, I thought you couldn't get these anymore, so I like picked it up really quick, and I've heard really great things about it. I have not. Okay, I'm just gonna show you what it is before I keep going on. So that is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, and I haven't read the Grisha trilogy at all, but I heard you don't have to read that to read this one, and I've heard like not so good things about that trilogy, so I just figured I'd pick this up because I've heard really great things about it. It also sounds like a book that I would really like, and it has the black pages like I said because that's cool, and I just thought this book was so pretty, and I picked it up, and I'm really excited about reading it, but I have like other books I want to read first. The next book I'm super excited about. I've said that about every single book that I've showed you, but this next book was released in January, and it's Truth Witch by Susan Dennard, and this is like I think this is the first book in like a series. I could be wrong, but I really like the concept behind this book, and I really love fantasy books, I'm coming to know. So, you know, when you first start booktube, you start to learn more about yourself as a reader that you wouldn't normally know, and I really like fantasy, so I'm really excited to pick this one up and start reading it, and I'm sure I'm gonna love it. I've never read a book by Susan Dennard, but I'm still really excited about it. The next book has gotten so much hype throughout the past few months, and I've only heard great things about this author. It's very out of my reading comfort style, but I still think I'm gonna like it because I used to read books like this when I was younger, but now it's like meh. I mean, I don't know, I haven't ever read one of Colleen Hoover's books, but this is November 9 by Colleen Hoover, and I've only heard great things about it, and I read the synopsis of this book before it even came out, and I knew I wanted to read it because it reminds me a lot of that movie. I want to say it's called One Day. It's like it has Anne Hathaway in it, and it's about a couple. Well, not a couple. I don't know, it's complicated, but these two people, and they meet on the same day every single year. It's in, I think they meet in like July. I think it's like July 5th or something like that. But this is like a very similar concept, and I'm sure it's just going to be just as good as the movie was. I mean, I know they're not based off of each other, but I'm still really excited about reading this because that is one of my favorite movies, and I hope it's not too similar, but still, I'm excited because I have another one of Colleen Hoover's books that everyone recommends to me, and that's Maybe Someday, I think it's called, but I have that on my Kindle. But I wanted to read this one first because I've been anticipating reading this forever. The next book I heard about on recommendation from, I don't know who it was. I heard about it in somebody's like wrap-up videos or something. I don't know, I was probably like binge watching some YouTuber. I feel bad that I can't remember who it was, but it's called Magonia by Maria Giovanna Headley. I hope I said that right. And this book is about a girl who is really sick, and she goes to like a bunch of doctors, and they just can't find a cure for like what her sickness is. They're like, you're just sick, like you're gonna die, like that's basically it, and they just kind of have like given up on her. And then she like hallucinates, and she like goes to this place called Magonia, and they have like a cure for her disease. I think that's what it's about, and I'm really excited to read it. The cover is gorgeous, as you can see. It's absolutely stunning, and I'm just really excited to pick this up. And it's like kind of low on my TBR, but I know I'm gonna read it because it's just so beautiful, and I love the concept behind it. The next book that I plan on reading is also very, very beautiful, and that is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. And the cover, I just love the gold foiling and the bird, like I just think it's so pretty. And this is like a historical fiction book, and I've never read a historical fiction book before, but I figured this would be a good one to start with because it's about two sisters and they're like girl power, whatever. So yeah, I'm really excited to pick this up, and I've heard pretty good things about it. Infinite Sea by Rick Yancey, and I wanted to wait to read this. I'm going to wait to read this. That's why it's at the bottom of my TBR, is because the third book in this series doesn't come out until like May. So I don't want to read it too soon and then be like, ah! But this is the second book in the 5th Wave series, and the movie comes out next week, and I'm really excited to see the movie. And I really loved the book, so I'm hoping I'm gonna love this, even though I haven't heard really great things about the sequel. I'm hoping that I like it. And then the last book I have actually already finished reading, and that is Scarlet by Marissa Meyer. I mentioned before that I had finished reading this a while ago. At the beginning of this month, I finished reading this book. This was the first book that I finished reading in 2016, and I didn't really like it. I didn't like Scarlet as a character. I feel like she wasn't very complex. Not that the characters have to be complex, but I feel like she was just very uninteresting. Like you didn't see anything about her personality. All you saw was her concern for her grandmother and Wolf, and that was it. You didn't learn anything about her as an individual, and I really didn't like that. However, the parts that Cinder was involved in this book I really liked. So I mean, it was an alright book. I think I gave it like 3.5 out of 5 stars. Like, it wasn't my favorite. Didn't like it as much as I liked Cinder, but it was still, I don't regret reading it. Yeah, those are all the books that I plan on reading throughout the winter season, and I'm sure there'll be additions to the books to this pile from like the library and like new releases. Like, I know a book that I'm definitely gonna read is Unhooked by Lisa Maxwell. That's a Peter Pan retelling. I love Peter Pan retellings. So yeah. You'll definitely hear about all those books in my monthly wrap-up, so be sure to look out for those on my channel at the end of the month. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!